Hey guys, it's Gus, and I've done a few videos recently detailing how to make gold and turn that gold into astral diamonds. And the process is pretty straightforward, but I've written down a number of tips that may help you along the way, especially if you're making an army of these and you want to get it done, somewhat efficiently. So the first thing you'll want to do is you don't really want to focus on alchemy. Your biggest attention will be on your gatherers because you'll get your alchemy up in 3 or 4 days if you use your morale. The problem is gatherers don't use morale, so you're stuck at the leveling pace is stuck at how slow you're crafting or gathering, I mean. So to speed that process up, you want to have as many gatherers as you have going. So if you have 3 gatherers, use all 3 of them, and they're gonna fail. You don't have to have 100%. So when you gather and you fail, all you lose is a bit of silver, but the time you save when they do get a complete is it's very noticeable. So have as many gatherers as you can going. The second tip is the tools. It's your first your first thought should be, I should have my proficiency at that number right there at 100%. Well, you're it's not that's not realistic. If you want to be at 100% proficiency, you're always going to be crafting stuff that's too low because you get experience when you gather stuff, and the higher the level you gather, the more experience you get. So me personally, I'm okay with like the 40% mark. So if I'm failing half the time, the other half I'm getting a ton of experience and leveling up quicker. And don't worry about your tools too much. You know, you're gonna if you try to be at 100% proficiency all the time on your gathers, you're gonna spend a fortune on tools or spend a ton of time crafting tools. I don't recommend that. I think the whole way through I got like 3 tools total, and ju- focusing on 100% proficiency is not the right answer. Just get them done. Just get them crafting. Don't waste too much time buying and swapping out your tools. Um, the third note I have written down is when you start this process, you're gonna need gold. For example, if you're making leather visors, you need a little bit of gold to buy the leather to craft the leather visors. And then once you craft the leather visors and sell them, you'll have more gold than you started with. And then you won't need any more gold after that. With the alchemy, it's a little bit different. You're going to want to have a couple hundred gold on each character when you start it out. You don't have to have that much, but the whole point of alchemy is saving time and not selling all your health potions every single time you craft them. And if you only have like 40 gold, you're going to be selling your potions every single day until you start building your bankroll. So if you have a couple hundred gold, when you start this process, it will save you more time in the long run. And then when you run out of gold, just go and start selling all your potions. Well, you don't want to wait till you run out completely because then it will stop all your crafting. So when you start getting low, then you sell your potions. And then you can focus on, doing dungeons and gearing up and killing stuff. Um, you want to check your artisans often. Your artisans will turn this from a gold making factory into a mega gold making factory. Your artisans will really help your gold production. So when you go into your workshop and you come up to your desk for artisans, right now it's going to say no applications. And if you go into your workshop once a day, you might get one applicant. The more times you visit your workshop, the more applicants you have. I don't know what the exact ratio is. If you show up to your workshop once an hour, for 24 hours, you won't have 24 artisans apply. But if you do come into your workshop 3 or 4 times, you will have 3 or 4 artisans apply in a 24-hour period. Much more so than if you only come here once a day. And when you visit your workshop, it's literally just come through the door. You don't have to craft anything or check your workbox. Just come in and leave. You might want to do that as you're building up your workshop to get those artisans faster. I've been doing this for a couple years now, and I still have some artisans I'm missing. That's how hard it is to get some of the artisans we need. Um, when you go through the process, your workshop will go from level one, where you have these 6 boxes and these 6 boxes, right? And when you get to level two, which you should get while you're doing the leveling process, you'll now have 18 bank slots, which is really good. But there's such a dramatic difference when you're a level three. This extra 6 workshop benches mean you'll have to check your workshop much less often. So the cost to level up to level three is actually fairly cheap. I believe it's 1/10 of the price of the level four. So I wouldn't do it immediately though. I would do it once you start getting some major gold on each tune, like 1,000 gold on each tune. Then start working on your workshop level three. There's a couple ways to do that. You can do black iron pendants, which is probably the most efficient, and gold needles. The problem with gold needles and crafting black iron pendants is it takes forever. A lot of effort. Very little gold cost, but a lot of time and effort. I personally just craft myrrh, and the myrrh stacks, and you don't have to do anything. You can be super lazy. So I think myrrh is right here. And you craft this with myrrh branch. So you have one gatherer getting myrrh branch, and then one crafter crafting it. And after a few days, well, for me, when I was doing rank four and I had my 60 tunes going every 2 days, I'd be able to level up a workshop from level three to level four. It's going to be different for everybody else, but this is such an easy passive way, because when you turn in myrrh to level up your workshop, it stacks. It takes zero effort. You just needs gold and time. But try to get up to level three as soon as you can. You're going to make a lot of gold. And the problem is gold fluctuates. Right now it's like almost half the price is what it was during Gond. And it could go down again. It could go back up again. We don't know what it's going to do. There's just times where gold becomes much more in demand than other times. And when it's in demand, it usually goes up. I'm not saving for Gond all the way next year. I'm just going to sell it as I get it. I don't care. But waiting for Gond, if you saw that first video, it was selling for a fortune. And you remember, you don't have to make gold. You can use these workshops to do whatever you want. There's a lot of stuff you can gather that sells. A lot of these materials here, if you look in the auction house, they sell really good. I know these sell pretty good. They're very cheap to make, and they're really easy to make, and they sell. And certain logs that sell very nicely. Just look through them, see what you want. I personally don't craft any of this stuff for resale later. I know I could, it's just time intensive, and I don't have as much time to do that as I'd like. So the only thing I use my workshop for is um, is getting water, or not workshop. My gathers is only to get spring water and sprig. But this is my main tune. I don't really do a lot on my main tune. Sprig and wintergreen sprig, which is used for alchemy as well. Um, you got to have a routine, guys. You got to. So here's how it goes for me, and it probably goes similarly for other people with the same artifact workshop setups as I have. My workshops will fill up once about every 12 hours. And once your work boxes are completely full, you stop crafting, you stop making gold in AD. There's also a bug when they get full, you lose the reagents you would have used on your last crafting. So what I do is I check twice a day. So this is where my gold comes from. When I use my morale, the 400 morale, half my gold comes from that. And when I collect my first time a day, 25% of my gold comes from that. And when I collect the second time in the day, my gold comes from that. So let's say your routine is in the morning. When you collect from the workshop and use your morale, that's 75% of your gold production that you're going to get in a day is in that first time. And the other 25% comes from your last collect. So if you only have the time to do one a day, Do one collection and make sure you use your morale. I get 240,000 morale a day. You don't want, or is that 24,000 now? 400, 24,000 morale a day. Apologies. You don't want to waste it. It's just too much value going to waste. But get a routine. You got to do this at least once a day and try to use your morale. If you can do it twice a day, even better. Um, so you're gonna have a tool, right? There's this artifact called the Gond Hammer. And this is a great artifact. It's in the auction house. So when you get this artifact and you use it on your character, it will put this tool in your workshop. And then what you do is you take that artifact off, the Gone artifact, you unequip it, and you put it in your mailbox and you mail it to yourself. And then on your next character, you pull it out of the mail and you use the artifact again, and the tool will go in that character's workshop. Then you unequip the artifact. When I say equip the artifact, what I'm saying is just put it right here in this primary slot and cast it, and it will put the tool in the workshop. So you can use this one tool to give this tool to every one of your characters, but you got to wait till you're level 18. I found out about this much, much too late. I have 3 kobolds on every single one of my tunes because I did not know about the Gond Hammer. So, but the Gond Hammer, you can only have one tool on each tune, and it's good for all professions. So you might want to get a Gond Hammer, and it's got to be mythic. Well, it could probably be epic, but I think we'll give you an epic tool. So you want it to be on mythic. It's a really high proficiency, really high focus, and it's good for every crafting there is. So you'll want to get that. So it's much cheaper than it used to be. It used to be a 12 million AD artifact. Now it's down to like 120k, 140k. When you check your artisans, I'm telling you, it's gonna sound really routine, but when you come here and check and you do that on a bunch of tunes, you're gonna start getting tunnel vision, and you're gonna let artisans go faster than you look at them sometimes. Do not make the mistake of letting the wrong artisan go. You may not see that artist again for 3 damn years. That's how painful this artisan application RNG is. Do not make mistakes. When you go to your new applicants, be very careful before you let it go. Because you're going to have to let them go. You can only have so many artisans. I believe, yeah, I have 20. I have a max of 30 artisans that I can have. So once you get to 30, you're going to have to let them all go, or all the new ones that apply, you got to let them all go until you get the one that you want. Then you're going to release a current one and then accept that one that you want. Uh, that's another thing about the workshops. The higher level workshop you have, the higher level quality artisans that apply, and the more artisans you can hold as well. So getting that level 3 is really nice. Level 4, the big perks are a few more artisans, 6 more workshop boxes, and epic artisans. You don't need epics for at all for alchemy. The 3 best I think, or the 3 I use is Unkra for honey. I use Latoto for the water, winter water, and then I use Halil for the crafting the potions. Altaquium is great for crafting the potions too, but she's epic, so she's very hard to get. I think I covered it. That's going to be the last video for this, I guess, 4-part series on getting gold to turn into AD. Hopefully this helps, and if I missed any tips, please write them below so that others watching this can see your tips as well. Stay classy, Neverwinter. See you soon.